Evening. Hello. 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 Doing all this shit again. I should really not swear in the first 30 seconds. I'll restart that. YouTube algorithm, I've heard. Anyway, right. Do that. We'll do that again. Hello. Welcome. Culture Ultras podcast, football things, Cypriot special with our very own Thasos, Flares and Kafes and Flares, Kafes and Flares.
Yeah, Flares and Kafes. It's supposed to rhyme.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Flares and Kafes. There we go.
Yeah,
That's a bit more. It's a bit more Cypriot. I don't know why Cypriot is now Italian, but yeah. Well, so it's all foreign, isn't it? Anyway, so the land of, well, not that way, the land of the greatest striker of all time, even the Georgian, but he plays in Cyprus. But
he does.
It's a great intro for that. Anyway, but yes,
it is. You rocked it.
This is why I don't do intros, James, because I'm useless at them. So we shall start with a James question because I've ruined this intro, and James has better questions than me all the time. Anyway, but yeah, Thatsos, welcome, Thatsos.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
First question, not related to football. Apologies. Do you remember the Cypriot entry into the Robot Wars World Championship, Cerberus?
Wait, what?
There was a Cypriot entry. I thought you were going to say something about Stavros Flatley.
I remember Hypnodisc, and he was my favourite.
Hypnodisc was elite.
After that, I forget everybody.
The pilot of Hypnodisc looked a lot like my biological father, who did a great job of hypnotising our family for money. But Cerberus. Cerberus was based off of the myth. It sort of did look like a little bit like Cerberus, and its weapon was sort of claws. But I remember they represented Cyprus in the World Championship. Anyway, sorry, I don't know why.
I did not know that. I remember Cerberus. I remember the name. I don't remember the robot though.
When Theon told me you were coming on, I was like, great, Cypriot foot, and that's the first thing I thought of. So I do apologise. But anyway.
Razor, I can't let Robot Wars be mentioned without a mention of Razor. To be fair, yeah. Razor was the best one.
The Roy Keane of Robot Wars.
Fuck off with that. Just have that. That's Robot Wars covered. I thought you were going to say, James, was Stavros Flatley. That's what I thought.
My first question was going to be who do you support?
In where in Cyprus?
Yeah.
I don't know. In Cyprus, it's Apoel. So Philly Dyer is also my man. Now, not to date the podcast already, but I also need to put out a shout out to my main shithouse, Emi Martinez, saving the penalties. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Like, assume Aston Villa have beaten Lille.
Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, spoiler alert.
It'll come out next week. There'll be some financial scandal in between them. Probably.
Yeah, in the cup, in the new version of the Cup Winners' Cup. So, yeah.
The
Conference League.
That's the one. That's the words I'm looking for.
I believe Fenerbahce are beating Olympiacos.
Yes, because I have bet on Olympiacos. That's why.
No, Olympiacos have got a good team, but so have Fenerbahce. So it's a very interesting turnaround.
We had the thing with Fenerbahce, though. My logic behind this was the fact that they nearly kicked themselves out of the Turkish league like last week, didn't they? So I thought,
with the Super Cup stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I thought, they're probably like Michy Batshuayi's karate kicking people. Probably not the best harmonious thing, but they're winning, so I know fuck all, obviously.
I mean, that first team's well rested, isn't it? Because they didn't play. They put their 19-year-olds out.
See, when you put it like that, that makes more sense. But anyway, back to Kavilitai, because I've never met a man who can speak. There's only actually I have, because we've had Luka Lagvalava, Georgian footy, of course, on. Luca doesn't like Georgi Villataya for some unknown reason. Can you see why?
Well, he doesn't score many in real life. I know your history with him with Football Manager. He doesn't score many in real life, but he does absolutely everything else. I don't wanna put a label on him, but he's a bit like Emil Heskey.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
He does everything else, but get him near the goal, and he'll put it over the stadium. He's a fantastic player.
My missus wanted to go to Cyprus because it was of all the countries in Europe. I'd been there a couple of times, but before we were together, so I went to. So she was demanding we go to Cyprus. So I engineered it to be on a time where I could meet two of my Football Manager heroes play at the same time. Vlad Dragomir, who was a central part of my midfield for Paphos, and Georgi Villataya, of course, of. But there was as you were saying, he puts it over the stadium. But Paphos, they don't have a back of the ground because it's like a running track.
Yeah,
he still managed to put it out the back of that one on one. Probably could have done better there, Georgie.
Yeah, it is a bit dangerous as well, Georgie, there because the stadium where it doesn't have stands has got a main thoroughfare through Paphos in it. So you put that over, you're going to put somebody's window out.
Into the shopping centre. That was at the time was a very close like top of the league clash. How is the league progressing this year?
The league is a bit crazy up at the top. So normally we maybe have one or two teams fighting for it. At the moment we've got 3 games left. Yeah, 3 games left, and there's still 3 teams that could win it. So you've got Abuel who are top. You've got AEK Larnaca who are second, 1 point behind them, and then there's Omonia. There's Omonia as well, who are third, and I think they're 3 points behind them. I can't remember the points tally off the top of my head, but yeah, it's 3 games left, and I'm pretty sure they've all got to play each other as well.
It's a remarkable achievement, really, for Ammonia to be so close to the top, having been managed by Neil Lennon.
Yes. So that was one of the names I was going to bring up for you.
There you go.
Neil Lennon. Yeah, and the one thing he's done since he's gone back to the UK, right? He went on Irish TV. So I know, separate it, UK and Ireland. I know it's different, but he lives in the UK. But since he went back to the UK, he then went on Irish TV. And while they were interviewing him live, he farted while he was answering the question. And not only did he fart, he paused while he was answering the question.
Oh, yes.
Just a split second. And carried on going.
Yeah. Great. You've got to admire a man who's got the balls to do that. He did shit the title with shit 10 in a row. So there you go.
How did he get on at Ammonia?
He joined halfway through the season 2 seasons ago, and the team didn't have much to play for. They got into the bottom 8 or bottoms. I can't remember if it was bottom 6 or bottom 8 at the time, which means they couldn't go for the title. They had the split that most Super League kind of leagues have.
Yeah.
Omonia didn't get into the top 6, which meant that they have to just piss around for 12 games basically. So they concentrate on the cup. So he won the cup, and then got the team through the qualifiers into the Europa League, I want to say.
Yeah, I think they played Man United.
Yeah, exactly. They played Man United.
Scored first, didn't they? Yeah, they scored first in that game.
Yeah,
I was having a look through it today because I thought he was still there, and it was like
no. They've had, hold on, since he left, they've had 1, 2, 3. They're on their 4th or 5th manager since he left.
Blimey.
Was that the back of, was that 22 though? That was like, was it a couple of years ago now?
He left. What is it? November or December, November 22.
Right, that's still fucking.
November
That's only a
22.
year to have 5 managers. It's not. It's like that's the Watford of Cyprus.
Yeah.
It's not even close to the Watford of Cyprus. I'll tell you that for a fact. Last season we had a club that changed managers 7 times,
Fuck, Jesus.
and 2 of them were the same guy.
Oh really? I wrote
So
that.
they sacked him and then rehired him later on in the season, then sacked him again.
It's an interesting, yeah. It's an interesting. It's like when people when there's a relationship, you can see it's not working, but they just keep getting back together. Just
It gets better. It gets better because they hired him for a 3rd time this season.
Oh my God!
Really?
And he left a month ago.
Oh, really? What team was this?
This is Garmiotissa.
Oh yeah, they're like bottom of the league with like 4 points, aren't they? Or is that somebody else?
They are 4th from bottom.
Oh, there's a different one.
Yeah. They're just above the relegation zone. There's 5 games left of the relegation zone stuff, but basically they're all bloody friendlies now because the team that's just above the relegation zone are taking 10 points clear.
Ah, yeah, close.
Yeah,
I've always wondered about the splits. Like, it's a bit daft, isn't it? Because it's like you were saying with ammonia. Like, there's always one team who's like a good solid mid-table team. There's like 25 points clear. So then they just go around and beat everybody else for a few weeks, and then the season's over.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you end up with things like the team that finished 7th has got more points than the team that finished 5th.
Yeah,
it's really weird. But yeah, Cypriot football is mad. It is mad. It's Turkish football gets all the headlines at the moment because they keep beating each other up. But yeah, Cypriot football is kind of quietly in the corner. It's the quiet one in the corner, kind of shaking, like this. That type of mad.
In terms of mental, it leads me nicely to my initial dalliance with Cypriot football, which was again Georgia Dulataya, but he didn't go to Apoel first, did he? He went up to under Tamori Ketsmaya, the mental man himself.
Yes, he did.
For people who don't know, we've had Anathosis as well. Like they've got there can't be another club like it's essentially, well. I'll let you describe the situation of Famagusta, mate, because
yes. So Cyprus, for people who don't know politically, it's let's say what happened in Cyprus in 1974 is basically what's been happening in Ukraine right now. Turkey invaded, occupied a 1/3 of the island, and as part of that occupation, I think at the time it was the 2nd or the 3rd most major city on the island, basically turned into a ghost town. Like there's you can get boats from Brodara and Ayannaba now that go quite close, and you can see like trees growing out of hotel buildings, that were half built at the time. And there was 2 teams in that city, and there's a few more refugee teams around the island that the associations are used kind of as like a thing to tie people together from these places. So Anorthosis is kind of the biggest team of these refugee teams. It's also one of the oldest teams in Cyprus. They call it the team's nickname is the Old Lady, the team itself has been through a lot of stuff, obviously, since 1974. They're now based in Larnaca. They've got their own stadium and everything, and over time they've won titles over a long period of time. Mostly when Tamuri Getspire was there as a player, so he banged a few goals for the team.
Kicked a few sideboards in, advertising, took a beating.
He is a very angry man. Very animated. And yeah, he scored loads of goals, went to Olympiacos, I think, scored loads of goals there, and then Newcastle signed him, scored 1 goal, I think. Everybody our age remembers that goal he scored, more for the celebration in inverted
It
commas.
just looks like it hurts at a certain point. What's just going on?
Yeah, so he's been interviewed a few times about it, and he doesn't like being asked questions about it at all. He gets very irate anytime somebody asks him a question about that celebration. But basically, he was just pissed off that there was some substitutions made, and the manager didn't pick him to get substituted to come on. So instead, there was a second round of substitutions, and he went on then. He banged the goal in, and he was like, "I'll fucking show you, don't fucking play me, you bastard!" And just, yeah, I think it's Alan Shearer who goes to try and calm him down as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah,
a
because
mental event.
he took his shoes off. He took his
Yeah.
took his shirt off. He was trying. Yeah, at one point he was trying to take his shorts off as well.
Proper celebration.
Yeah. And then obviously his career. He went to Dundee, and then went back to Anorthosis again as a player, and then became player manager. And as he played for one season as player manager, then became just a coach. And he took the team, won the league with them, and then took them through the Champions League qualifiers, took them to Turkey, and they won in Turkey.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a quiet night in the library, that one, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Not.
Yeah. And got him into the Champions League group stages, and it was the first Cypriot team to get into the Champions League group stages as well. And he did a fantastic job with them. I don't think they did very well, but obviously they didn't do very well. But yeah, got lots and lots of credit for that. And then so Bayer left. As soon as Bayer left, Anorthosis started going downhill financially, and his career started going downhill as well. He went to AEK Athens. He lasted there a month. He went to some team in Russia, lasted there about 3 months, took over the Georgian national team, made them not very good, and then went back to Anorthosis, won a cup with them, and then he got the national team. He got the Cyprus national team job, and I hate him so much. I mean, you guys talk about Brexit football as a joke. The guy plays Brexit football. Right? He says, like, on the, when they officially announced the formations, it's like, oh, he's playing 3-5-2, when really he's playing 5 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders that can also act as defenders, an attacking midfielder is actually a central midfielder, and then 1 striker by himself kind of stood around just going like, someone, give me the ball. But yeah,
it's Gareth Southgate-opoulos, that, isn't it? That's
it's so horrible. But back to Anorthosis as well. At the moment, they're going through some shit. So,
oh no, we're fine for swearing, mate, don't we?
Oh yeah, no. But the club is in such financial dire straits at the moment. And what's happened is they did really well up to about January. So, the president of the team basically got all these players that did really well up until January, signed them on to bigger, better contracts, and then the team's form fell off, and then they found out that they owed a shitload of money that they couldn't pay off, and they've basically been releasing players left, right, and centre over the last 2 weeks, because otherwise they're going to end up with points deductions and transfer embargoes and all kinds of stuff. The whole board has resigned, so they're now looking for new investors. It's horrible what's happening to that club at the moment. Club with a lot of history. Gone through it very quickly, but yeah, they've gone.
Doof.
Yeah.
I forgot the Kafes was at was the Cyprus national team, and another not on the level of Vlad Dragomir or Kvillataya, but an old FM hero of mine off the bench, Grigoris Kastanos, when he was playing for Juventus.
Yes, yep. Right now he's at Salernitana.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're not doing well.
No,
He's
no.
great. He's exceptional for a yellow card, but it's Castanos. He's another angry man.
He is. He is. He is. And there was a fantastic goal that Salernitana scored earlier on in the season. And he got the assist. And obviously, because I follow Cypriot football, I was like bagging the retweets on all the videos for the goal and then going out, look, check out this assist. What he did, it was a free kick. And he just backheeled it to the guy who had the shot.
It counts, mate. They all count.
It counts. They all count, exactly. But yeah, Castanos is he doesn't do well for the national team, I gotta say. But I think part of it is obviously he gets by as fucking Brexit ball tactics. So yeah.
I was going to ask you. I will let James ask a question in a minute, as it's been like 25 minutes since you've said a word, James. I do apologise. But the two things I was going to mention was there's always seems to be a lot of players who end up playing for Cyprus, like Pieros, was his Satiriou, who was like they always playing for like Leyton Orient or someone like that. Like just like
that's Rule Soteriou. Piero
oh.
Soteriou is the one in Japan.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, because there was a Satiriou when I went to watch Altrincham a while back. There was a Satiriou who scored twice against Alta. So I was like, oh, there we go. Yeah, because it's like I'm sure he's in the national team. This isn't where the conference is. And I was going to ask you just sort of national team players, mate. Off the top of my head, Castanos. Then I'm running out. So, like, who would you say is the best? And who's like just on a sliding scale of what are we looking? Are we looking at possibly? We've talked a lot about Georgia for a Cyprus football special. Do you think there's a potential ever of a dream get to the Euros, get to the World Cup kind of thing?
The team we have, especially forwards wise, is pretty good, I think. We've got Piero Soteriou is in Japan. He's playing for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. We've got Ioannis Bitas. He plays for AIK in Sweden. He's banging goals in for him as well. We've got Ruiz Soteriou is at Leyton Orient, and he's doing a pretty good job at Leyton Orient. He's been scoring a few goals for him. There's a couple of players who are actually in Cyprus as well. Mario Silia is the top goal scorer in the league right now in Cyprus. There's Marinos Jonis, who plays for Sporting Kansas City in the US. So there's Loizu, who's at Heerenveen. You know, there's a few attacking players that just aren't being used because Dickhead only wants to play one up front. So it's really disappointing to see. Especially because Cyprus has a pretty good history with the forward players like Michalis Konstantinou or Yanagis or Kaz. They're not going to be well known to English listeners, but in Greece, these guys have been top goal scorers in the Greek league. And you know, there's a game that I keep going back to, that I keep mentioning, and it's like a historic game for Cyprus, drawing 4-4 with Portugal in Portugal. Like scoring the 92nd minute equaliser.
That's good.
It's as if you bloody won it. Yeah. We were celebrating it as if we bloody won the World Cup. You know, it was amazing. But yeah, Cyprus is not quite San Marino.
Yeah.
Which we've got a friendly with in June, so that's going to be an interesting one.
You've said that now. I'm now going to have to bet on San Marino to win 1-0. So
I wouldn't put it past us at the moment. But I don't think they've got they can't get that ceiling to beat a Georgia, for instance.
Yeah.
Like a Nations League C.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's where they are.
Oh right. Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. But yeah, there's. I'm just trying to think. There's only one ever Cypriot national team representative who's played in the Premier League. He played for Newcastle. Now I've got to remember his name.
What era are we talking? This is a great 6 a.m. kitchen question. Who's the only?
No, I've got to look it up. Sorry, guys.
No, that's all well.
I'm never gonna get that. This is
Yeah.
terrible.
It's fine. We'll edit this. We'll edit this so it looks like it's
Oh yeah,
we-
yeah. Do that.
So you just don't look at the screen and then just go, oh yeah, it's and then it'll be fine.
Yeah. Hold.
Or we'll just leave this in for comic effect
No.
and make
Leave it
everybody
in.
else.
Leave it in. Be like It'll be.
It's fine.
Oh fucking hell! It's gonna.
Welcome to the Cultures
Baba.
Hotline. Your call is important to us.
I think it was Nicopolidis. I don't know why we've got Geordie
No,
callers guessing
Nicopolidis is
Greek
Greek.
goalkeepers.
Yeah, Nicopolidis is Greek.
I know. That was it was me pretending to be a piss. It was not coming across racist, but yeah, there we go.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
Well,
happen.
I was going to ask you as well, mate, quickly before. Well, I will let James talk eventually. There
There is another Cypriot player, a Cypriot national. I can't call him a Cypriot player because he ended up playing for Turkey.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a Turkish Cypriot. Is a Leicester legend.
Oh.
Muzzy, is it?
Oh, really?
It's from Cyprus, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I remember seeing that he was. I remember one, upon like a Wikipedia hole. Like it's like I've never seen anybody who's from a Turkish bit of Cyprus before. There you go. But
there is one more as well. They're all coming to me. Another Cypriot ethnic player, let's say, is Jason Kumas.
Yes.
That's James's love language, Jason Kumas.
No, I remember him obviously at West Brom, but I don't support Tranmere, but he is a Tranmere legend. Wow. So Welsh Cypriot.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I did wonder about the name Kumas because it does. Yeah, it's very. Greek Cypriot. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's very Greek.
I was going to ask you about that as well. And I will shut up in a minute. I do promise. Is there ever a case of like, because obviously Greece and Cyprus are very interlinked. And I told James before, fun fact, I might be wrong, it was right when I think it's right, but they share the same national anthem, don't they, Greece and Cyprus, and obviously used to be the same country. Is there ever a case of like a really good Cypriot just going, I'm just going to go and play for Greece instead? Oh,
yeah, that's actually happened about 6 months ago.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's this really, really good under-19s player. Fucking hell, man, my brain's fried. He plays for Atletico Madrid in the B team for Atletico Madrid at the moment.
I'll get that.
And he had the choice of either playing for Greece or Cyprus, and he's chosen Greece.
No.
Now, part of it, I think, is because when Getspire was managing Apoel, he got sacked about 5 games before the end of the season, and then Apoel hired this kid's dad to take over the team, and he won the league. So I think Getspire basically told the kid, as long as I'm in charge, you're not getting in this fucking team, mate. So he's just gone and decided to play for Greece instead.
I found his name, Ilias Kostis.
That's the one.
There we go.
That's him. It's easy if you know it.
Yeah, it's easy if you Google Atletico Madrid Cyprus.
Yeah.
As a New Zealand fan, we've got to play Roberto Cacace. He plays Empoli, and probably our best player behind Chris Wood. And his dad is from Naples. His mum's from New Zealand, and he made the choice to play for New Zealand. His dad bought tickets to the World Cup, and he went, it doesn't matter because if New Zealand don't qualify, it's fine. I'll go and watch Italy. And then neither team qualified. So.
Oh,
terrible situation. I was going to ask about the Cypriot League because a lot of I don't want this to sound like a sweeping generalization, but a lot of smaller European leagues tend to have one team that has pretty much sort of dominated since its inception or for a long period of time. Have Apoel sort of dominated the Cypriot League quite well, or is it sort of fluctuated between a couple of teams?
They did for quite a while. Like they went nine 9 in a row. I can't remember if we got the 10th.
Right.
Oh God. But yeah, we dominated for quite a while. Omonia have dominated for a while as well. But then there's these teams that pop up every so often and grab the title. But for the last 4 seasons, no, I can't say the last 4 seasons. The last 4 winners of the championship have all been different.
Yeah,
so we had Apoel. We had Apoel, and then Omonia were ahead before the COVID break, and they won the championship. And then after that, they had Apollon, and then after that, we've had Aris. So we've had a few different teams. Win it every time. It seems like a team wins it and then it seems to completely fall apart. It's a weird one, but it's really interesting as well to watch.
It's always good when there's a variation in winners. And
Yeah.
I will let James talk again, but I've just remembered. I've just remembered. I meant to ask you about the was it quarterfinals Applewell got to yet of like 10? Probably longer than that now because I remember when it was still on ITV, the glory days.
12 years ago.
12 years ago. Gosh.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Who was in that team? Because I remember a few of them go on to like really big clubs and off the back of it, or I might be making it up.
I don't think so. Quite a few of the players actually stayed at the club for a while as well.
Mm-hmm.
You got players like Haralambidis who follows me on all the socials. So nice one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's Nuno Moraes, who was actually Jose Mourinho's first signing at Chelsea.
Oh really?
He signed him. Didn't do much for 2 seasons, and then got released on a free. And the only team who seemed interested in him were Apoel, and he basically stayed there the rest of his career. And he's still there now as assistant coach at the moment. There's I can't think of anybody like there was I think it's Paolo George who was in central defence. He went to Torino for a season. Didn't work and then went back to Apoel. Ailton, I think he went to some teams in Europe. He went to Copenhagen and some other teams as well. But yeah, no. It was more a collective, so the team worked well together rather than players kind of standing out.
Who did you beat in the round of 16?
Lyon.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, cool. Wow.
There was a big team in the group. There was a big team in the groups though, wasn't there? Like Barca or something. Not like, but it was a really hard group, wasn't it? And it was like Apoel. Definitely, it was like when Costa Rica got through to the.
It was a really difficult group. We managed to get in because we beat Zenit.
Oh.
And then we. God, my brain is completely gone. But yeah, there was a few good games there, and then the kind of the lasting impression you have of that kind of run was Hyodis, the goalkeeper, saving that last penalty. And then you just see the massive explosion of just. It was amazing, and then obviously we went and played Real Madrid and got absolutely spanked. So yeah, in the quarterfinals.
I remember Limassol as well a couple of years ago. They played Everton, I think, and like drew 2-2 with them in Europa League.
I want to say
yes, it was.
Yeah. I think at the time as well they had an Everton player on loan as well, Alan.
Oh, Alan!
No way!
Yeah, fucking Alan.
Wow. It is bonkers. I love sort of looking at like sometimes what because I'm a fun person. I will sort of go on the UEFA section of Wikipedia and go on over domestic leagues, and it is very interesting to see like what like they're there. Like Chris Coleman manages.
Oh yeah, Chris Coleman.
He manages Atromitus.
Yeah. In Greece. Yeah, that's right.
I did not expect that at all.
Well, I was going to bring up some managerial names that have been through Cyprus. That I thought you guys might like. So I spoke about Neil Lennon already, so I can take him off the list. But on one year, I've got a habit of hiring, let's say, strange choices from the UK. Another one that they had prior to Neil Lennon was John Carver. John Carver, yeah, who's current assistant manager of the Scottish national team, by the way. People don't know. But yeah, he proclaimed himself the best coach in the Premier League while he was at Newcastle at one point, didn't he?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's unlocked to memory. That has, mate. Wow. I remember. Oh, when was that? Was that like? I can't remember if that was like 5 years ago or 15. But that was. Oh, time is worrying.
Yeah, time is a flat circle. Yeah. So another manager that we've had is Mick McCarthy. He lasted all of 3 months at Apoel.
No way.
Yeah. He got Apoel 7th, so that was really good of him. Thanks for that.
That's
fucking. That comes all the way back round to being an achievement. To be fair,
he had who did he sign? He had a new who? I think you guys had a guest on.
Oh yeah,
previously.
I'd take you. Yeah.
And is it Josh Gardner as
Oh,
well?
from the one who played for, not the one who played for Birmingham.
No, that's Gardner.
Gardner.
Yeah, but yeah, it's such. Oh man, that was such a rubbish team, and he took control of it and made it worse.
Yeah, Mick McCarthy ball's not pleasant. My first like memory of football is watching. Well, I think my first abiding memory of football is Roy Keane leaving Saipan. Broke my heart. Yeah, and then yeah. So Mick McCarthy's to blame for all the years of misery, essentially.
Oh, I've got another one for you as well. That will trigger those nostalgic. George Burley.
Oh my God! Yeah. Was he Bolton? Was it Bolton Burnley and?
Wow.
He was Scotland manager.
Scotland,
Crystal Palace, Southampton, Derby, Ipswich.
Derby.
Basically, he went to Apollon, so he went to Cyprus, right? He lasted, what was it, 6 months? Oh no, I'm just checking it here. It wasn't even 6 months. It was from May till September.
That's
amazing.
So he basically did a summer in Cyprus. Yeah, 2 games, and he was sacked.
that's funny.
The story behind it is there's a lot of rumours about his tenure in Cyprus. The fact that he didn't pay too much attention to his duties and was spending it more at the pub. No, not even Iron Apple. Spending it at the pub. So yeah, he lasted 2 games, got the sack, and I was just looking at it on Transfermarkt, which is, as you know, every football podcaster's best. Like basically football podcasters Wikipedia.
That's where I found Ilias Kostas before.
Exactly. He has not had a job since.
Oh really? When was this? When was he at Apple?
2012.
I think a career may be over, George.
It reminds me of the Allardyce thing of. Well, no, technically, he's got a 100% record because he won one game. Whereas he's like, I actually managed them for 2 seasons. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is 2 games, right? And he has a 1.5 points average, which means he won 1 and he lost.
Well, never boring, never a stalemate. I think that's the key to looking at. You know, when you're looking at a Wikipedia page, a football Wikipedia page, you're going like, and it says like just one single year without a dash to present, like just one single year. Oh, that didn't go well, did it?
Yeah. or if it's just like 1 year, it doesn't have the next year. It's just
Yeah,
like
just
2021.
2022. You look for you're thinking, oh, is he still there? Oh, there's no dash.
Oh.
Oh.
And it doesn't say former manager in the Wikipedia page. So what's he up to?
I got no idea.
George, but I think I was thinking of Owen Coyle before. I wonder.
Yeah, Burnley. Yeah, that makes sense.
Burnley. Yeah, was it? But yeah, it's George. But I think they have very similar faces. Might be embarrassing myself again, but
Similar
no,
tactics, let's say.
no. Well, what happened? What happened to Paphos, by the way, this season? Because I was going to say because they were near the top of the league, and I thought
Yeah,
my following of Vlad Dragomir on Instagram. I'm sure I saw like a generic "Let's go for the league" a couple of weeks ago.
yeah, no.
No.
They did their normal Paphos thing, well, as normal as a team that's about 10 years old can be, but they do really well. They've got players who seem to do really, really well against obviously the less good teams in the league, and then they get to the top six where they actually have to play good teams week in, week out, and don't do well. However, they did make it to the cup final. They actually beat Apollon over 2 legs, and they're now in their first ever cup final.
There you go.
Yeah, and the winning goal was scored in the 94th minute, and it was scored by. Hold on, I'm just going to check.
It wasn't my boy, I don't think.
No, it wasn't Dragomir. No, although he has scored some bangers in Cyprus. No,
scored some absolute worldies for me. I can still, if you need me to tell you about what our trip away to Bolton, who were back in the Premier League by this time, to the Reebok in like 2026, I will, but I shan't.
All right, well, he's got a pretty good highlight reel in Cyprus. He's got a foot on him. He likes to smash him in. He's a bit like Thomas Hitzelsberger.
Yeah, he was.
To bring it back to Villa, but yeah, he just if he's at the edge of the box, yeah, just move out the way. It's going in whatever you end up doing.
It was like a proper like that kind of I don't know how old is he now? He's about 10 years ago, like like sort of near the end of the Wenger era, like all these crop of players like you thought who looked like when they were 17 like they were going to be like unbelievable, and then just whatever happened, it just didn't happen.
Sanchez Watt, do you remember him?
Oh yes. Sanchez, what? I think that's going to happen with he's the youngest player in Premier League history. I saw that Ethan Nwaneri. I mean, he's only played like once or twice, but I reckon he'll be a stat. If you like, unless you're James Milner, like if you're the youngest player at any point, you always tend to go nowhere.
Bloody hell, Sanchez, what? Chelsea was at Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
I think he went to Leeds at one point.
Yeah, he was at because he was playing with Max Gradle, who I thought was like from Scunthorpe or something. He's from Ivory Coast.
Max Gradle, fantastic.
Was it Danny? Who did he have up front? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's Leeds.
I was going to mention Sanchez Watt, right? I've got another name for you who is in Cyprus right now, and bless him, he tries. Is Charlie Musunda.
Who?
Charlie Musunda.
Charlie Musunda.
Charlie Musunda.
Wow.
Fucking prodigy. Next world, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, he keeps getting injured. He's basically Darren Anderton for Gen Z.
There's the title of the podcast.
The Darren Anderton of the TikTok generation.
He's had so many injuries. I'm pretty sure he's on a pay-as-you-play deal.
Oh, really? One of them. The Jonathan Woodgate, your legs are broken contract.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think he's in Cyprus going poor, basically.
Oh dear, that's not the best.
Yeah.
No, I would be remiss to mention, of course, Apollon Limassol, one of my favourite football Twitter accounts this year, simply for beating Rangers and then continuing to go on about it all the time.
It's Aris Limassol.
Aris Limassol, even.
Yeah. So
Same thing.
it's
Same thing.
all right. It's not
Yeah.
as bad as say making comparing Apollon to AL Limassol. Aris Limassol was like traditionally the third team at Limassol that people didn't really like. Oh,
Yeah.
they're there as well.
Uh,
And
so
then
does
they
that mean
had
there's four? Oh no, you said Larnaca, not Limassol. I was going to
yeah.
say, is that four clubs in with Famagusta, but you said Larnaca. So
No,
yeah,
there's
I'll just stop
three.
making mistakes.
There's three in Limassol, and Apollon and Isle are the traditionally successful ones, and Aris are like the I don't want to call them the Man City of Cyprus, but basically they've had Russian money go into them. A lot of money has been ploughed into the team, a bit like Bafos FC, and they won the league last year. So it's a team that has a lot of history. They were one of the first. Well, no, they were one of the first teams that started the Cypriot league in the 30s. And then they'd never won the league ever until last season. So it used to be a joke in Cyprus. Oh, Aris will win it one time at some point, and then they finally did, and they did it in style as well. Like the style of play is it's really interesting style of play. The guy who manages it is this Belarusian guy who plays. He sets his teams up a bit like Jurgen Klopp.
It's not Goncharenko, is it? By the way,
No,
because we had an adversarial relationship on Football Manager. Belarusian ended up managing Fulham. Don't know why. Anyway, sorry. Mate.
There's a guy called Alexei Shpilevsky. Very emotional man. Let's call him. He's been suspended for one thing or another like 5 times this season. He was fined last week because while he was serving a suspension, he was up in the VIP box next to the commentators, and then there was a penalty decision given against his team, and he just let rip at the commentators. Just started shouting extremities at the expletives at the commentators.
That's superb. Yeah. I was going to as well.
I'm going to grab my phone charger.
But yeah,
Sorry, mate, go on.
Oh no, I was good. Okay, yeah, the social media account for Aris is he's top notch.
Yeah, I can't believe I said Apple. I apologise to Aris because it has been. I've just obviously not remembered. I've just taken the beating Rangers and run with that. But
yeah, I mean basically they got 4 points in their group in the Europa League, and all 4 points were against Rangers.
What more can you ask for? I was going to ask you as well because I just remembered the Paphos badge from when I went. And we also you need to remind before we wrap up. We've mentioned I think there's 12 teams in the Cypriot League, isn't it? We've mentioned most of them. I know we've not mentioned Nia Salamina, but we have now. Who's the person on Paphos's badge?
So that's a very good story. So first of all, Bafos FC is an amalgamation of a bunch of different teams that they've tried to start in that part of the island. It just hasn't worked. There's actually been there's actually been a team that's been in Europe there as well. But there's Bob, IEP, all kinds of different initials with P for Paphos. Just whatever there is you can think of. There was Abob Guinea Las Vegas. They managed to win the Cypriot Cup at one point, got into Europe. 2 seasons later they folded. There's like a whole lot of teams that were in that area that just collapsed for one reason or another. And then they kind of brought all these teams together. And one of these teams was called Evagoras Baf. Now, Evagora is Evagoras Palligaridis. I'm not going to ask you guys to pronounce it. But basically, during the 1955-59 War of Independence, we call it. I think in England they call it the Cypriot Civil War because, empire and all that. Evagoras Palligaridis was this was this 17-year-old from Paphos who he was a poet as well. And he was one of the freedom fighters. He was one of the guys fighting against English rule at the time. And he was one of these young kids who got arrested and then tried as an adult in Nicosia. The Queen signed off on him to be hanged and everything. So that was a bit of a morbid story, but he was a poet as well. So there's quite a few poems that he wrote while he was in captivity, and he's like treated as a folk hero in Bafo. So that's the reason why they have him on the emblem. Is that
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I might need to go buy.
The history of.
I might need to go back and buy a Paphos shirt because I was like, "Oh, who's this fella?" If I'd have known that story, I'd have had one.
Yeah, he's very important for the kind of the what would you call it in English? The freedom fighting. I'll just call it. I'll just call it freedom fighter.
Revolutionist.
Yeah. His hanging was one of the reasons why the British public kind of supported kind of letting Cyprus go in the end, because there was such a there was a big hoo-ha about hanging this 17-year-old as an adult. And that set off the British public, and part of the way that Cyprus had won the War of Independence was obviously turning the British public against the empire for this one specific decision, which, you know, sometimes people are good, people are nice sometimes.
Yeah.
But
There's the Cypriot James Connolly. What's his name again? Just so we've got
Evagoras Paligaridis.
What a fella.
He is.
What a fella.
He was. Yeah. It's very nice story. Well, not very nice. It's a very poetic story. Like his sacrifice gave the freedom to the country. So
there we go. Thank you very much, Mr. Parakalidis. There you go.
One of the things I wanted to ask actually was going back to that 2012 victory for Applewell, and I suppose sort of Cyprus as a whole, footballing wise, has that? I know it was 12 years ago. Has that momentum carried on? Like, what does the current landscape of Cypriot football look like at the minute?
So, domestically, the league is very strong. So we've had, like Fionn said, Aris this season in European group stages. We've had Apoel, we've had Omonia have been in the group stages, and Orthosis have done it. So there's been a few teams that have made it to group stage, and Apoel made it to knockout stages twice. We could do better. You could always do better, can't you? The problem that Cyprus, the top division, has, especially with top teams, is a lot of international players. Like domestically, there's a fine for teams to pay if they don't play at least 2 Cypriots in their first team. And Paphos, Aris, Apoel, and AEK, who also did really well in Europe last season, they all, every week almost, they all pay that fine. Yeah. Whereas there's a team like Omonia, they've got 4 or 5 Cypriots that they play, and Orthosis went part of the season this season paying that fine every week. There was Garmiotis last season. Don't know why they thought they would get an advantage by playing these international players, but they didn't. They finished like 10th, but they were paying that fine every week last season as well. So yeah, that's a big problem that we've got in the league at the moment. which means that we've got a load of like 17-year-olds getting shipped out to different countries.
Mm.
So we've got like 17-year-olds in quite a few 17-year-olds in Italy actually. There's Sava, there's Lisandro is at Genoa, Sava is at Torino, I think. There's a couple of other ones I can't remember off the top of my head. There was Gostis at Atletico Madrid, but now he's not one of us anymore. There's also Cas at Fulham. There's a couple of youth players in the Watford youth system. There's so the future's bright. It's just not in Cyprus.
Right.
No. Yeah. So yeah. So a lot of, I suppose there's a lot of that with a lot of sort of smaller European nations sort of shipping players.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Ireland. There's none in the Irish league itself.
No, that's a very good point.
I mean, when you've got, when you want to be signing players, would you sign an 18-year-old Cypriot or would you go for Kevin Miralash?
Yeah.
The team that went with Kevin Miralash last season finished 9th.
Yeah, so, I think most Everton fans would say that 18-year-old Cypriot who'd never heard of him.
That team from last season, I predicted them to finish first, and they finished 8th. They had Kevin Miralash. They had Alisson's brother in goal. They had Aaron Chibola, who was at MK Dons and Villa. They had Saido Berahino. And they finished 9th.
Yeah, he's
finished 9th.
Berahino's the laziest man on earth, though.
Yeah.
What a spine.
Unbelievable.
Alisson's brother.
And Alexander Kachaniklik is still there.
Oh, he's one of you played for Kachanik Kilic or whatever, the Swedish Turkish guy, is it?
Yeah. He's there. He was there last season. He's still there. He did his cruciate ligament, and we haven't seen him for like a year. Yeah, like 15 months.
Oof. The Tyrell Malacia of Cyprus. just disappear. Fucking hell. What, I was just going to say, Thassos, as well, is there any teams we've not mentioned? We've mentioned, obviously, Apoel. I just don't want any angry comments going, somebody who's listened to an 58 minutes of Cypriot special, because Kamyatisov's got to go, a couple of mentions.
Yeah, so I mentioned Omonia a few times, even though they're our rivals.
Yeah.
How feisty does that get? How feisty does that get compared to sort of...
there was loads of flares and stuff at the Paphos game, so I think Apoel fans are balmy, aren't they?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have seen, there was something floating around on Twitter for the last couple of weeks with that that chart that has like loads of different teams, or whether they're left and right and rich or poor. Yeah.
You could do with getting that for James, because James has a horrible habit of accidentally selecting fascist clubs.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but you've got Philly Dyer's shirt up there. If you're Apoel on that chart was just slightly left from Millwall.
Oh right, yeah. This guy. I think that's because of it's because Ammonia's supposed to be left. Well, it's sort of like Irish affiliated as well. It's sort of left wing.
So Omonia.
So just as a reaction.
Left. And it's not just football wise; it's politically as well. Omonia is very left, and they're unofficially supported by the Communist Party in Cyprus, and Apoel are very far right. So when you get those two together, it gets very meaty. Yeah. And most of the times, both teams finish in that top 6, so they play each other 4 times.
Yeah.
So it can get very, very intense.
Could you imagine that could you imagine Lazio like that, if that split happened like Serie A, like Lazio and Roma had to play each other 4 times? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it can get very, very heated. But then again, everybody hates Apoel. So But the Apoel fans don't really help themselves. Like I went to the game where we could have won the league not won the league, where we had to win to keep up with Aris last season, and it was against Apollon. And both teams are in theory, they're both on the right politically. But Apollon really hate Apoel and vice versa. To the point where the Apoel, the away fans, which I was a part of, I wasn't doing the singing for this, by the way, but they were basically singing about bombing the crap out of the port, with the port being Limassol. So it can get very, very heated between fans. There was an Apollon versus AL game, which was going to be the last game to be played at the old stadium in Limassol. And the AL fans sent a letter to the police saying, "We're going to retire the stadium. We're going to retire the stadium." And they didn't listen. And basically, the game didn't even get to start. The game didn't get to start. They basically started tearing bits of concrete off the stadium and throwing it onto the pitch. Apollon fans were setting fires to bins. It was at one point there were a couple of fans had got onto the pitch and started smacking each other with advertising hoardings. Yeah. So yeah,
you will never get back at the Etihad.
You will not get that. Yeah, it's been there was a firecracker at one point.
Oh my god!
One dickhead Apoel fan threw a firecracker at a player that got them kicked out of the cup this season. There was Apoel versus AL, which is Apollon versus AL, which is the two Limassol teams that I mentioned previously. What had happened this season? Was it this season? It was this season. They both teams fans had pitch invaded. The police had got a fan of the away side at the time had got hold of like a hose and just started spraying everybody with the fucking fire hose. There was flares being shot everywhere. That game didn't kick off. Like the president of Cyprus rang the stadium authority and said, "Cancel the game." So that game got cancelled, and then they had to actually play the cup game behind closed doors.
Fucking hell. This is proof that Cyprus has a proper league. This is what should be happening every week, everywhere. Carnage.
Oh my god! Since I started the Twitter account reporting on Cypriot football, every home game that Nea Salamina have, they get fined because their fans are either spitting at the referees, the opposing team, or their own team.
What a club. What a club.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
We thought we had it bad when that Birmingham City fan punched Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There was.
He took that like a champion, to be fair, Jack Grealish.
Yeah, he went and scored afterwards as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
He took that. He took the punch properly well as well. He went,
yeah. I'm just trying to think what else has happened. The Doxa. So Doxa got gas has been.
Oh yeah, I've lost money on them before. I remember Doxa.
Yeah, they went on a 14-game losing streak at the beginning of the season. And they're the team closest to avoiding relegation, but obviously they're 10 points behind.
I remember seeing that and then I saw them they'd lost 11 games. I went, right, they're going to win and they're going to be big odds. Kept betting on them 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I gave up before they won.
Stopped and they won.
Yeah.
But yeah, their president. There's been stuff floating around that president for 3-4 years now that he's been fixing matches to make sure his team stay up. And this season he said it twice now. One time he said, "While I'm in charge of this club, it will never go down." Like very, very like. And then what is it? A couple of weeks ago, he said, "I will go down when I want to go down." And yeah, the joke we made when we heard that was, "Oh my God, his poor wife." But yeah, yeah, but yeah, he's going down now. So
well.
yeah,
good for her.
good for her, exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely I'm definitely adding it to the list for you on in terms of places to go for
Yeah, I think we should try all three of us Culture Special at some point in the 73 fixtures. We'll go and like risk our lives at Apoel Ammonia. I
Yeah.
think we should. I
Yeah.
think all three of us will do that as a special.
Well, hopefully next season they will actually allow away fans back. So
No,
let's see.
so
Yeah.
we'll do because I'll do very quickly before we wrap up. I'll let the be the story that I've told 700 times, but I'll tell it again. The at Paphos waited for an hour because at the side think I'll either catch Lad Dragomir or I'll catch Georgie. Paphos team were already there, so never mind. And then I saw the Apoel bus drive in, thinking, here we go. This is my picture, and it drove. So I was stood here, and it drove. It took a different turn and drove straight onto the pitch. I'd wasted my time. So no, never mind. So I get off the bus, and I was like, "Oh, there it is."
I can't wait for that
Well,
on the plane where there's flight to Cyprus is full of sort of stag do's, hen do's, lads' holidays, and then just me and you sat next to each other, feeling going, we're actually on our way to watch Ammonia the Upper Well. Thank you very much.
It's a grudge match. Mm.
It's oh, lovely stuff. Yeah, definitely do that. Definitely.
Yeah, we should do that now.
might be
Donate
able
to
to
the
sort you
Patreon if
out.
I've remembered to set it up. Yeah, there we go.
I know a guy. I might be able to set you up.
Oh, come on. You
Yeah.
coming with us, Dassos? We need help and political nous of how to deal with crazed Cypriots.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They
The
just you got it.
what's Greek for wokeness? That's
Oh God. Oh,
that's how we'll blend in with Apoel.
I
There you
think.
go.
Yeah. I think they just call it woke. Yeah. I think they just call it woke.
Is
Yeah.
am I right in thinking is it malakos in Greek means shit?
It means wanker.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I used to work at I won't mention the zoo, but I worked at a very popular zoo in England.
The only one near where you live. Fucking just point. Just mention the zoo.
I'm worried. I don't know. I'm worried they might track me down.
What repercussions are they going to be?
I'm worried they might poach me.
Oh, come on.
I used to work at a zoo in Cheshire, and one of my
so stupid not to say. Just say.
what a way to end the podcast.
Go on.
I worked on they had a sort of like island section. There was a boat ride, and on one of the boats, it had the word Malacca written on it, and I think on one, obviously, it's a terrible form of cultural appropriation that they haven't even bothered to research what the word means. Just, that sounds cool. We'll just write that on the boat. And I do remember a Greek family they all burst out laughing.
Yeah.
I had like no idea, and he came up to me and went, "You do know what that means, don't you?" I forgot it was wanker, but yeah.
Yeah.
Whole
Well,
family
Malaga is a weird one. It's like
it's a good word for wanker,
because
though. It's sort of
because
onomatopoeic,
yeah,
isn't it?
it depends on the intonation as well. Like you call a friend a Malaga, and it's just like hey, my mate, hey Malaga, how you doing? All right.
right.
Whereas Remala guys, like,
Uh,
you know, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit like the word. It's a bit like the word fuck in English. You know,
or
you can
Scottish
use
for
it.
cunt. Or Irish, Scottish Irish for cunt.
Yeah.
You can depends. It depends what you want to use it for. You can just throw it in there. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, mate, this has been absolutely
Yeah.
superb. James,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Fantastic.
Well, we're having you back, and we're going to Cyprus with you. So
That's good because there's a few players that I've got in tabs here that we haven't
Oh.
even mentioned yet.
Cyprus too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you on back to Cyprus too.
Yeah.
Oh mate, this was absolutely fantastic. So
Yeah.
where can I'll let James do that because I've done the majority of the talking.
Where can we find you, Fasos, on social media?
Oh well. So that would be at Flares Cafes on for the Cypriot stuff. I've got my own Twitter account for me, which is mostly Pokemon and Aston Villa, so people aren't going to be interested in that. But at Flares Cafes for all the Cypriot football, I actually started that because of Kevin Mirage signing for our Limassol, so
Huh?
we get a few more tidbits like that.
Is your Pokemon Aston Villa account called Gotta Cash 'em All?
Oh. No, sadly, it's just my name.
Dean YouTube. No, that doesn't work. Never mind.
Lovely stuff. Go and follow Fasos. This has been an amazing episode. I'm got my Applewell shirt is in the Macron basket as we speak. Genuinely. I looked at it today and was like, yes, that is getting ordered.
Yeah, this
As
season's
Marine Le
one's
Pen
really
once
nice.
said. Oh no, but we started just to wrap up finally. We started with Robot Wars. We ended with an unnamed zoo in the Cheshire. Now, if that doesn't say Cypriot football, I don't know what does.
Exactly.
All lovely stuff. As always, you can follow us at Cultures Pod on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow Fionn at Fionn Fazer on Twitter and his band at Vulture Authority, whose single Telesale Blues has it hit 3,000?
It's 3,500 now, James. This is why you did. Do never let me do an intro and or outro again. This is why you did. This is the professionalism, you see.
3,500 streams
in a week. 2 weeks. Well, no, it's not a week. What, 8
How much
days?
is that? Like 3 pence?
Yeah. No, we need I worked. I think we need another 4,000 till we get a tenner. So come on.
More streams than Tolkien's Middle Earth. Anyway, and you can follow me at JamesAllen27. Come back next week where we'll have another guest. But until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.